Welcome to Absolutely Abundant, a podcast for soul aligned creatives. This is your host, Julie Getzinger, and this is episode 20, Narcissism Explained. If you have heard the term narcissist before, you may have a different definition. I am going to explain from my interpretation, from my personal experience with people that I believe are narcissistic, how I define it and what the red flags are and how to stay on your throne as queen, regardless of how another responds, how they act, how they behave, knowing that you always have the power. And what I've learned is that people who have narcissism, they spin everything to be about them. So either you help to enhance their self-esteem, how they see themselves, by doing what they want you to do. It feels like their love is very conditional. If you do this, I love you. If you make my life easier, I will love you. And this, in my opinion, is where people pleasing starts. So when we learn early on in life that to be loved, you must do what your parents say. You must do what your teachers say. You must do what you were told to do in order to receive love. Of course, you're going to want to do that because we all want to be loved and accepted. The danger with this is that we can abandon ourselves and what our intuition says is best for us in order to please another, in order to receive their love and acceptance. The earlier in life that you learn this, the more it becomes difficult to separate from it as an adult. And you can see it when you tend to be someone who bends over backwards to please others. And in our next episode, I interview licensed therapist and coach Nazi Spurrier, and she's going to dig deeper into people pleasing and what it's all about. So look forward to that next week to hear from Nazi. But I'm just explaining from my personal experience what people pleasing is. So I will completely claim that I am a people pleaser. From my past story was that I was a people pleaser because I was taught early on in life that to receive love, to receive acceptance, I needed to fall in line. I needed to conform. I went to a Catholic school. You need to wear this uniform. You need to believe this. You need to do this. You need to wear this in your hair to fit in. I learned all the rules of conformity. And then I felt the pain of being disconnected from the group. And I learned that to be accepted, I needed to look a certain way. I needed to have blonde hair at my school. The popular girls had blonde hair. They wore ribbons in their hair. And I remember, as a brunette, thinking, well, I'm going to have to start highlighting my hair. I'm going to have to start wearing ribbons. So I did that. And then I was told, you can't do that. Like, you can't wear a ribbon. You're not one of us. And that's something that stuck with me, that desire to fit in, that desire to be loved and accepted. And I learned that it was more important to please others, to make others feel comfortable at the expense of myself. And I saw role models doing this in my life. So I thought that was what you do. That you fall in line, that you do what you're told, that you see this person, that you do this thing, regardless of what your intuition is telling you. And it put me in situations where I felt extremely uncomfortable. I felt disconnected. I felt out of alignment. And now I know what it is because it wasn't for my greatest and highest good, and it wasn't my truth. I never identified with Catholicism. I never understood the stories in the Bible and took them as truth. I took them as stories. And I remember even saying that in religion class. How do we know that this is true? Some of these things seem very far-fetched. As an adult, someone who practices spiritualism, I believe in miracles. 100% believe in miracles. And I believe that with God, all things are possible. And some of those stories in the Bible, I was just like, yeah, what? No. And the part that I couldn't get behind was if you are not like us, you will be punished. That punitive God never resonated with me. I've always been accepting of others' differences. I've always been intrigued and curious and fascinated by others' differences. And I couldn't understand why people would be cast out for being different, because we're meant to be different. None of us are exactly the same. We come from the same source, but we're not the same. We're all different. We're equal but different. And I think I identified so much with people who appear different, people who have different backgrounds, who have a different accent or something that, it's clear that they're from a different heritage than you are. They look different. I've had a affinity with them because I too have always felt different. I'm a medium. I am someone who can connect to the other side. I'm highly sensitive to energies. I'm highly sensitive to people's emotions. I'm very empathic. I can feel everything. When a loved one passes away, I get messages from them almost immediately, for myself, for others. And I know I'm different. I know not everyone has this gift. And I think that that's why today I'm so passionate about helping others see that their differences are beautiful. And we're not here to please anyone else. And getting back to the whole narcissist and how to identify it, it's when you speak your truth, when you set that boundary and the other raises hell, that's how you know. Because you go against what they want you to do. Show up this way, look this way, be this way, believe this, do as I do. You don't do that, I raise hell. They also can spin anything to be a reflection of them, positive or negative. So they can take an action that you do and make it about them and criticize you for doing it differently than they would do it. And it feels like a punishing in a sneaky way. It's not always outwardly obvious. It can appear as, you've disappointed me, right? Who hasn't heard that? Disappointed me, you hurt me. Using manipulative words to get you to do what they want you to do, to fall in line. And to me, that's one of the it's almost like it's a hard one to wrap your head around, because they can appear very loving. They can appear in a beautiful, loving package. But if you don't do as they do, they will tell you let them down. You disappointed them. You hurt me. And it's all to get you to do what they want. Do this and I will love you. Do this and I will accept you. Don't do this, you're bad. And they don't say it in those words, so it's subtle. Sometimes they're outwardly obvious. I have dated a narcissist before, and I didn't even know the word until I dated this person. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, like all the lies, all the deceit. And looking back, I was like, wow, the whole thing was a lie. The whole thing was made up. It was all a mirage. And it was also a beautiful lesson and a beautiful opportunity for me to speak my truth. I will never not see that again. And it was something that I nipped in the bud right away. One time done, like, you show me who you are, I believe you the first time. It was a lesson I needed to know, I needed to learn. But just knowing that if you've been with a narcissist, if you are with a narcissist, if a parent's a narcissist or someone in your life, what you can do is have those really strong boundaries, knowing that it's not safe to share anything deep and personal with them, because again, they will make it all about them. They will take it personally. They will have the desire to punish. And knowing that the best way to have a connection with a person who is a narcissist, if you do decide to still be in connection with them, is to keep them at arm's length, to keep it very surface. And you get to choose how much you engage. I remember in the past when people asked me things personal, like what happened with my divorce or things that's none of their business. And I would try to find the right words to kind of dance around it. And then it's like, fuck off. Like, who the fuck are you to like ask me about my divorce? Like, what, are you genuinely concerned? Like, fuck off, And it's the boundaries. We have different boundaries, different levels of boundaries. There is the fuck off. There is the no thanks. And there is the roses, like that's not something I'm comfortable talking about. So you don't have to have that strong boundary of fuck off unless it's necessary. With some people, you absolutely do need that boundary. And I will tell you, from the Queen's energy, she doesn't need to say fuck off. Her energy is like fuck off without even having to say it. She knows her power. She knows her worth. And no one crushes her. No one takes her off that throne. This is my throne. Back off. It's an energy. It's an energy that people feel. And the narcissist will try to penetrate that, they like that. They like that energy of that aggression. So when you can be in that solid energy without even having to say a word, but just the knowing of your power. And I was recently triggered by a narcissist and had the desire to defend. And as soon as I felt myself defending my throne, I was like, nope, I'm not giving you my anger. This is my power. This is mine. And I know from doing energy work that when another angers us, it's literally giving the power to them. I just learned Tai Chi. And when an opponent comes at you, when they are infringing their energy at you and wanting you to fight, you say, thank you. You take their power and you put it right back to them. You deflect it. You don't take it. You don't want their stuff. You don't want their energy. You deflect it. It's like this power force around you that it comes at you and it's like, no thanks. And in Tai Chi, there's even this circular movement that you can do with your hands to just gently redirect that energy. And knowing that another never has the permission to take you from your throne. So with the narcissist, it's just this, the main thing is the boundary crossing. The boundaries, like you state your truth, you share something that's meaningful to you, and they make it about them. They have the desire to punish. They're manipulative, sometimes not outwardly, obviously. And they get fearful when they feel you pull away, because it's like they've been feeding off of your energy. And when you pull away, they can come back with like, I love you. And oh my God, you're the most amazing thing ever. Like, because they feel you pulling your energy away. So that's another sign when all of a sudden they're overly loving, overly like over the top. They feel that because they feed off of your energy. It's like a parasite. They feed off of that. They want you to want them. They want you to need them. They love codependency. They love when you need them. They love when you crave them. That's their desire because it makes them feel more powerful, more mighty. So when you notice that, the clinginess, the neediness, that is your indication that you're off balance and you're off your throne. The queen isn't needy. The queen isn't clingy. The queen is all powerful. She is sovereign. She doesn't need another to fulfill her. She enjoys the connections of others. She doesn't need another to fulfill her. If she is disrespected, she says, no thanks. And she stays on her fucking throne. So that's my interpretation of narcissism. I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. Nazi Spurrier is a therapist, and she is coming on next week to tell us more about this. And I also wanted to let you know about a new program that I just launched called Speak to Spirit. Speak to Spirit is for people who are curious about connecting to the divine, connecting deeper to their intuition, and learning the tools such as oracle cards and automatic writing, meditation, so that you can receive that divine wisdom and guidance from above and have that higher perspective and catch things like narcissists and catch them before you get deep in it and just see it from that higher perspective for what it really is. I also really believe that the secret to success is getting in touch with your intuition on a deeper level. I am a coach myself, and I will tell you that no one knows what's best for you more than you. I adore my coach. I trust her to the nth degree, and I still use my discernment, my intuition to see what feels right to me. And when we have that strong connection with ourselves, with our power, with our knowing, with the divine, with the part of us that is divine, there's nothing that's not available to us. The abundance is there for us at all times. And well-meaning, well-intentioned leaders, teachers, coaches, guides, they all are also human. And learning to really get in touch with that intuition, to me, is the biggest secret to abundance. So if you're interested in this course, we officially launch on April 1st. And you also get a 30-minute one-on-one call with me. So if you've been feeling like you have these spiritual gifts or you're curious about developing them further, you will have time to talk with me about that. And I can tap in intuitively for you as well and let you know what your spirit guides have to say about your gifts, about what wants to be created next through you. And it is an online course. It's all online, self-paced. We have a private Facebook group where you'll be able to practice doing intuitive readings for the other participants in the program. There's also a section that teaches you how to do this professionally, if that's something that interests you. I've been doing this professionally for about 2 years now. I've been an intuitive my whole life, and it wasn't until COVID happened that I fully stepped into this path and came out as a medium, as a divine channel, as a messenger of God. And this, to me, is doing God's work. So for people who say that working with spirit is scary or, it's not in alignment with God, that's simply not true. I work with the higher, I tap in divine wisdom. I work with the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters like Jesus, Mother Mary, Buddha, all of them. I'm not exclusive to who I will work with other than, of those who are of God, of the light. And I also teach you how to make sure that you're connecting with God and with the light, how to cleanse and protect your energy so that you're doing it in a safe way, creating sacred space before you tap in. And it's an incredible course. It's actually the very first course that I taught when I first started my business. And now I, from this place where I stand now with the wisdom that I have now as divine teacher and leader and guide, I have added that to this course. And from this elevated space, created this new program that is packed with amazing tips and ways to connect deeper with the intuition and with the divine. And if you're interested, I will put a link in the description box below or on the show notes if you're listening to this on my podcast, in the description box if you're listening on YouTube. And I'm excited to see who else joins us. It's going to be an incredible program. Some people in there are already practiced intuitive, so they are excited for you to join so they can do more readings with you and also, teach you what they've learned as well. People in my Free to Fly community, we have a Free to Fly mastermind program, and they are all intuitive at different levels of development, but they are automatically enrolled into the Speak to Spirit program. People on Free to Fly get free enrollment into all my programs that I launch. So they will be there to help guide you as well. And the link will be below. If you want to set up a call with me to learn more about it before signing up, you're welcome to do that as well. There's no charge to have a conversation to see if it's an alignment for you, if it's something that fits with what you're looking for. And, what I will leave you with is, always trust yourself. Trust yourself. Listen to your intuition. Go where you're guided to go. You are not obligated to anyone or anything. Trust yourself. I say to my clients, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. That's Gabby Bernstein. She says, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. So if it's a hell yes to come and join our program, come join us. If it's a hell yes to learn more, set up a call with me. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.